Guys, we are live with one of the most beautiful backhands in the history of tennis. Pablo Cuevas, it's so good to have you on. And then right next to me this way is Steve Cantari, the biggest legend on our call for sure. And then right next to Pablo is Guy. And so, Guy, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to put the center screen up so you guys can get a good look at these two good-looking young men. And tell us how you two met. Ready?
Well, actually, I'm living part of the year in Uruguay. We actually live in Uruguay in Montevideo, which is the capital of Uruguay, and it's 9 p.m. here. I'm at Pablo's Cuevas house. As you can see, many trophies, and I met Pablo through a friend recommendation. Uruguay is a small country. There's only 3 million people living here, and more or less everybody knows each other. So the tennis community is quite small, and everybody knows Pablo. Is quite famous in the country, and one of my good friend there is one of very good friend of Pablo. So he introduced us, and we got connected. That's how it worked, actually.
That's very good. Pablo, I see you have some trophies behind you. What's your favorite trophy you've ever won?
Hello, everybody. I am with Guille. My English is not so good, but Guille is a translator.
I will be translating to everyone because sometimes Pablo has some difficulty to speak in English.
Entonces te pregunta cuál es.
Sí. Básicamente me crié jugando torneos de polo de ladrillo, así que mis torneos favoritos son un poco sobre polo de ladrillo y como el mejor torneo es Roland Garros, pero también me gustaban mucho los torneos que combinaban el torneo de tenis con cerca de la playa y todo cerca del club.
So he's saying that he was born and raised on clay courts, red clay courts. In South America they play a lot on clay courts. So his favorite tournaments are on clay courts, and obviously his favorite is Roland Garros. But he loves also the sea, the beach, the water, and he also likes the tournament that's right next to the beach. And yeah, that's I can see actually the trophy from Roland Garros he won in 2008, right? It's over there.
That's right. He won the doubles.
Here's the just gonna show.
Yes, show us.
Here's the big over here.
That's the French Open doubles title, guys. And
maybe it's Monte Carlo. I don't remember.
You beat they weren't on the same team, but you beat Pays. You beat Nestor, and then you beat the Bryan brothers.
Yes.
Right? Ask him what it felt like to beat the Bryan brothers in a Grand Slam tournament in doubles.
¿Cómo es de ganar contra estos dos que son?
Recuerdo ese partido que tuvo la particularidad que en todo Roland Garros estaba lloviendo muy suave y se habían parado todos los partidos y todos los jugadores estaban dentro del vestuario y en la única cancha que se estaba jugando era la nuestra. Así que todos nos vieron y me acuerdo ni bien al haber entrado al vestuario, encontrarme con Federer y haberme dicho que wow, el partido que habíamos ganado fue 7-6 en el tercer set, así que fue increíble.
¿Cuál estadio era?
En la cancha que ya no está más, la cancha redonda.
So he's saying that he was playing on court number 1, which doesn't exist anymore. It's court number 3. And that day was kind of rainy. It was a bit rainy in Paris, in Roland Garros. So all the matches stopped except his match. So everyone from Châtrier and Lenglen, which are the two main courts in Roland Garros, went to the court number 3 to watch Pablo and his partner Orna to play the Bryan brothers. And Pablo said that they beat the Bryan 7-6 in the third, and he remembers that going back to the locker rooms, he saw Federer, and Federer just congratulate him and say, "Wow, what a match!"
That is pretty awesome. I'm going to come back here for a second, and we're just going to acknowledge some people here. We have Scott and Sharon Levy. Sharon was just at our TennisCon Live event down at Gigi's place, and then they're going to go to Spain with us, Guy. And so I just want to say hello to them. And Sharon, you did amazing at the camp. She was apprehensive about coming to the camp, but she did incredible. She got to hit with Gigi, which was pretty cool. And then we got Stuart Alexander. Hello. He's got his tennis balls and a smile. Another regular on our live stream is Dr. Tom Nordstrom, who's giving me back advice online, which has been pretty cool. in Florida. And then we got Tom David saying to people, yes, it is live, because Scott wanted to know it's live. Jennifer's on. We saw Jennifer's from Puerto Rico, and she was down there at Gigi's camp as well. So, and one thing I want to just mention before we get into all the great questions for Pablo is the reason why we're on here tonight is next year, the guy next to me, the legend, Steve Cantardi, Pablo, Guy, we're going to South America, baby. We're going to be training on the dirt. Pablo's going to teach us how to hit that one-hander like that, baby. And it's going to be a great, great time. And Pablo and Guy, you guys can answer this. What are some of the fun things to do? When we go in South America, what are the things that you're going to blow our minds by? Besides being on a tennis court with such amazing players, what is going to blow our mind about training and going around South America? What have you got planned for us, you two? I'm going to put you guys in the solo layout again.
Me está preguntando qué más que vamos a hacer en Punta del Este, en Uruguay. ¿Qué es la cuestión también? Si quieres, yo respondo.
Conozco mucha gente, americanos, europeos, que por ahí lo veían muy lejos a Argentina y a Uruguay y se han ido encantados un poquito con nuestra cultura, con nuestros asados, y también les ha cambiado un poquito la imagen de lo que pueden ser nuestros países, que a veces la gente se imagina cosas que no son, y tenemos nuestras zonas bastante avanzadas, digamos, adaptadas al mundo moderno, y realmente hay mucho para conocer en estos países, aparte de comer buena carne y tomar buenos vinos.
He's saying that he has a lot of friends who came to visit from the US and from Europe, and they sometimes had the wrong picture of what is Argentina and what is Uruguay, because in the group in February 2024, we will be going to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Punta del Este, Uruguay. And they all fell in love with the country. The food is awesome. They have a very nice culture with barbecue and steaks. They love cooking steaks and getting together around these big asado places, they call it. And
well, Guy, you live there now. What do you think about?
But you know what we're going to do as well, playing tennis in Buenos Aires and in Uruguay, we're going to go to a tango show. We're going to go to the tournaments. We're going to meet all the tennis players at the tournament that Pablo knows. Then we're going to go to Punta del Este with Pablo, and he's going to show us around what is, the culture over there. He's just coming.
So what tournament are we going to?
We're going to go to the Argentina Open, which is an ATP 250. Which is around the 13th to the 19th of February. And we're going to go to the semis and the final. And this year, actually, I think Alcaraz won the tournament. Yeah.
Yes.
Do they accept old, out-of-shape people with a back injury as a wild card in the tournament?
Only if they're left-handed.
Yes. Maybe you have a chance. Maybe we can sign you up, Peter.
All right. So this is my first thing that I'm excited. I'm so excited to show Pablo this. So I'm going to put myself in solo layout, and I want to ask Pablo. Here. Let me put myself in solo layout. Okay, Pablo, watch this point, everybody. Is this the greatest trick shot of your life? Is this the greatest trick shot you've ever hit? The no look tweet. Watch this, guys. You got to get a close up of it. Watch this, guys. He doesn't even look. He doesn't even look at it. All right. Let me put everybody back in.
Es un tiro que no tenía realmente mucha práctica. Se lo vi una vez a Gaudio en un entrenamiento conmigo y no sé por qué en ese momento salió eso. No es algo que lo esté practicando continuamente, pero creo que fue como un tiro que no estaba muy visto, digamos, y por eso llamó tanto la atención y también por eso lo sorprende tanto a mi rival, en ese caso a Tsitsipas.
What do you say there?
He's saying basically that's a shot that he saw on a practice court with Gaudio. Gaudio is an Argentinian player that won Roland Garros right before Rafa, I think, for the first time. And he just saw him doing it. And during the match with Tsitsipas, he just came naturally. He never practiced the shot, actually. He just did it.
That's amazing. So I want to ask him, because if you guys don't know, I sent you guys an email. I'm talking about the entire everybody on the live stream that's here. We got 70 people, by the way, which is kind of cool. Let's get to 100. If you guys get us over 100, Pablo and Guy have promised to make a dancing TikTok video for everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Was that the best trick shot you've ever hit, or was there one better than that?
Sí, tuviste un mejor trick shot.
Tal vez ese tiro por ahí como que no era tan necesario, el punto no ameritaba, tenía otras opciones de hacerlo, pero realmente cuando no tenía otras opciones de hacerlo fue en el partido en Madrid contra Zverev.
Sí. He's saying that this trick shot was kind of, he could have done something else to win the point, basically. So for him, his favorite trick shot is from Zverev, because he had in Madrid, in actually the Master Madrid we're going this year, he got lobbed and he had an amazing passing shot against Alexander Zverev. And what Pablo is saying is he had no other choice doing this shot. So for him, it's his best trick shot ever. Maybe you want to show it, Peter. I'm not sure, but there is one with Alexander Zverev in Madrid.
I'm gonna pull that up later in the stream, because that's a lot of juggling. But I'll just go to the solo shot here, and just so I can, because I watched that. I watched your top 10, Pablo, and so what Pablo did is he went back and he literally ran and did that and hit it cross court. Winner. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Okay. Let's see. Exo solo shot. So last question on trick shots. Who is your favorite trick shot artist? You're pretty amazing. Your top 10 trick shots are unbelievable. Some of the best I've ever seen. Who's the best trick shot artist in your opinion?
Mío. Bueno, está preguntando quién es. Sí. Pues sí, sabes.
La realidad es que no soy un especialista de que esté mirando todos los mejores tiros, pero creo que Kyrgios y Monfils han hecho tiros muy buenos.
He said he's not really watching all the trick shot videos online, but he said that he have seen very good one from Nick Kyrgios and Gael Monfils.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And actually one of Pablo's top 10 was against Monfils, where Monfils was trying to toy with Pablo, and Pablo ended up toying with him. It was
in Madrid as well.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
In Madrid, and another one in Paris-Bercy against Rafa Nadal. Is a twinner, but not down the net, is front of the net.
Yeah, he has another very good trick shot. I don't know if you have seen it. It's at the ATP Master in Paris in November. He had a passing shot against Rafa Nadal between the legs, but he was not.
I saw that one too. I saw them all. Let's talk about playing Rafa and then the big three. What was it like playing Rafa, on all the surfaces, and just, what makes him so great?
¿Cómo fue jugar contra Rafa en tu carrera en tierra? ¿Y por qué es tan bueno en tierra? ¿Por qué está bueno?
Jugué varias veces con él. Increíblemente lo pude vencer una vez en Río, tomándome revancha del año anterior, que había perdido también en las semifinales. Y creo una de las cosas difíciles que tienes es el spin y la altura que le puede dar a la bola, y lo difícil que es impactarla y tomarle la ofensiva, digamos, ser ofensivo ante los tiros de él.
I'm going to try to translate as best as I can, but he definitely says that it was so difficult for him, and he thinks for all the players, to beat Rafa or to win against Rafa on clay, because the ball has just so much spin, is bouncing so high, so it's very difficult to put some pressure and some aggressivity in the shot and make a winner against Rafa, basically. And he said that he beat him one time in the Rio Open, in the Rio de Janeiro tennis tournament on clay, in the semi-final, and it was one of his best win, a revenge from the year before when he lost against Rafa in the semis as well.
Yeah. So how how did you beat him? Was there a game plan? Were you just hot? Like what was the strategy, or what did you do well to get that win against Rafa, especially on clay? Not many people can say they've done that.
Como una de las cosas también muy buenas que tiene él es un poco esa consistencia, y no solo la consistencia, sino que en los momentos difíciles es por ahí hasta cuando juega mejor. Y en las primeras semifinal que juego con él, que termino perdiendo, había estado set arriba y había tenido oportunidades en el segundo set y no las había podido conseguir. Y para esa segunda semifinal, una de las cosas que sí me dije fue: si estoy teniendo posibilidades, quiere decir que estoy por el buen camino, no que por no haber conseguido una oportunidad me tengo que hablar mal o me tengo que castigar, sino simplemente es una confirmación de que voy por el buen camino, así que seguir insistiendo en eso. Y bueno, lo pude lograr porque, a diferencia de la semifinal del año anterior, que había empezado ganando el primer set, acá empecé perdiendo el primer set, después de 1 hora y 20 de partido terminó el primer set. Así que tuve mucho de esa fortaleza mental, como que le pegué en el fuerte de Rafa.
Está diciendo, sorry, he's saying that his experience. Remember, I just said that he beat Rafa.
Yeah.
And the year before, he lost against Rafa in the semi-final of the same tournament. And the difference between each semi-final is the first semi-final against Rafa, he was down, he was winning and up 1 break, I think. And he put a lot of pressure on himself. He had a lot of bad energy coming in his mind, and he just couldn't finish the job, basically. And the experience from the first semi-final to the second semi-final really helped him improve. On the positive side, because he said, okay, this tournament, I think I can beat him. He lost the first set actually in Rio in the second semi-final, 7-6 after 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it was just the difference between the other semi-final. He was just so positive, even if he was down. He said he can do it. And he had a lot of good energy and good thinkings, which made the confidence. And he knew he was going on the right way. Even if he lost the first set, he knew he was gonna be able to win, and he was on the right track. Which is kind of funny because he was winning on the first semi-final, but he was thinking too much and too many negative energy. And this time he was losing, but knew he was on the right track.
Yeah, obviamente todo el mundo sabe que es un deporte que no es por tiempo, y que justamente Rafa, una de las cosas que mejores hacía eran los momentos definitorios, jugar su mejor tenis. Y en ese partido, como que en esos momentos pude poner el foco y, como estabas diciendo, de hablarme positivo y poder jugar un mejor tenis.
He's saying that Rafa, he says that Rafa is very well known to be able to win points and games in the right moments and the most difficult moments, I will say, in the match. And I think Pablo is trying to say that he really didn't lose the focus and was so confident that he could do it, which made the difference.
Seguir manteniendo esa agresividad.
And he was still maintaining a lot of pressure and aggressivity in his game.
Wow, that is awesome. That's amazing how much the mind, how powerful that is. Like Novak felt like the only difference between him being number 3 to go to number 1 and finally beat Rafa and Federer was just he finally believed he could do it. Now, I've got a question for you on that whole mental thing. I got to watch I was with the Bryan brothers like a month ago, and Mike said after retirement, he feels that playing tennis is a lot easier because he was so tight on the tour, which surprised me, because when we watch you guys don't look tight. You hit so free to us. But he said he was so tight, like physically, and he felt that even the tour has so many injuries because everybody is so tight. They're so nervous, and they're not just like, not only about not believing they can win, but they're physically like tight. Did you feel when you played loose and relaxed, or did you feel very tight sometimes when you played.
¿Entendiste?
Sí. No, creo que el secreto justamente, como cualquier deporte, uno cuando lo empieza a dominar se da cuenta de que no hay que hacer esa fuerza, de que no hay que tener esa tensión a nivel muscular, que hay que jugar un poco lo más relajado posible. Y eso ocurre un poco cuando la mente también está relajada, cuando no tiene como muchos mensajes, cuando logra hacer lo complejo, lo logra hacer simple, es cuando consigue esa soltura un poco.
No, he's saying that yes, the mind is the most important. He will say in the tour and ¿puedes repetir?
Sí, que creo que para conseguir esa soltura de que él está hablando, de no
Sí.
jugar
Sí.
y eso,
Sí.
de que se necesita esa simpleza en la mente, digamos,
Sí.
de darse mensajes fáciles.
No, he's saying that yes, mentally it's everything on the tour, and being so relaxed internally and mentally give you that freedom of hitting so well and winning matches. But, creo que estaba preguntando también que tú sí te sentías con mucha presión durante ¿Cómo controlaste si tuviste momentos duros?
Sí, obviamente tenía la ayuda de profesionales como de un psicólogo y que uno va aprendiendo y evolucionando. Cuando empieza a jugar los futures hay 300 personas que lo están viendo, cuando juega los Challenger hay 1000 y cuando empieza a jugar los Grand Slam tiene de repente una cancha con 10.000 o en un US Open con 15.000. Entonces todo muy progresivo y uno como que se va acostumbrando y preparando para eso, pero así todo
Con el equipo, ¿no?
hay partidos que pareciera como que es una situación nueva, aunque a veces no lo sea, y hay partidos donde uno está más tenso y esos partidos son los que al otro día estás realmente muy cansado.
No, he's saying that it's interesting what he's saying. He's saying that it's also you have to how can I translate? You start, right when you professional, you start to play future and challenger, and you have maybe 300 people coming to watch you. And then you start playing 250, which you have maybe 1,000 people, and then you play Grand Slam and Master 1,000, you have 10,000 of people. So basically, the level of pressure from these tournaments are different along the way, and you start learning progressively as well as you improve your tennis and your ranking. He's saying as well that he was also, when you start, he was also advised and a lot of people helping. He had a psychological, coach who was helping him mentally. And yeah, he was also saying that that playing the match when you felt a lot of pressure, that was the most difficult matches to recover from because you were so drained mentally.
Yeah, I bet it's exhausting. Okay, so a couple things, people out there, if you have a question for Pablo, write the question in the chat. So I'll start reading questions if you have questions. I have more questions to go, but I've got right beside me right here one of the best tennis minds I've ever met. And I want Steve Guattari do you have a question that you would like to ask the great Pablo Cuevas?
Well, I think, the tough thing about tennis, of course, is that it's a 12-month season. So my question would be, when do you take time to work on something that you'd like to improve? When do you find the time in a 12-month tournament season when you can say, okay, I'm going to work on this and try to make this a little bit better?
He's saying that the season is 12 months, almost 12 months. When do you find the time to practice what you want to practice on?
Sí, es una buena pregunta y para el jugador sudamericano, de alguna manera, son no más semanas las de torneos, pero sí las que menos tiempo puede volver a casa, porque realmente el circuito básicamente es mucho en Europa y otra gran parte en Estados Unidos, por lo cual quedó en el tiempo esas famosas pretemporadas de 5, 6 o más semanas. Hoy, básicamente, entre el poquito descanso que hay, que ya empieza Australia, las semanas duras de trabajo son 3 semanas y después se viaja mucho con el equipo de trabajo Y durante las semanas uno va entrenando un poco todo, desde la parte física, de la parte mental y de los pequeños ajustes tenísticos que uno puede hacer.
Después de Australia.
No, durante todos los torneos, digamos,
Sí.
todo el año va viajando con el equipo de trabajo.
No, he's saying that basically you keep working and improving on the stuff you want to work the whole year as well. You have a couple of days to prepare for each tournament, and that's the time you take to practice what you want to do with your team. So it's really consistently that you're working on different adjustments for your tennis. On every single tournament, they work on different kind of stuff. So there is not really a time he's going to take and say, okay, I want to work on my serve. I'm going to take a month to work on my serve. You just do it on each tournament progressively. I don't know if
Hay 2 semanas en el medio a veces de las giras, pero no más de 2 semanas para trabajar, que es poco tiempo para incorporar cosas realmente nuevas.
He's saying also that you have like maybe 2 weeks break during the season, and that sometimes that's the time he used to work on stuff, but he said it's not much time to really improve on something specific. So you have to do it along the tour, along the way. I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah. Steve, do you have a follow-up to that?
Yeah, I guess my follow-up to that would be, what about strength training, and how do you keep that up with such a grind that you have? You've got a tremendous grind. You're on the court all the time. Strength and agility training, of course, has entered into the game a whole lot more than it was 20 years ago. So where do you piece that in, and what precautions do you have to take, if any?
So you're talking, Steve, about the strength and conditioning, right?
Yes, I'm talking about strength and conditioning, exactly.
Entonces, cuando trabajas agarrar la fuerza muscular y
Como dije, existe una pequeña pretemporada de 3 semanas.
¿De cuándo?
Y es en diciembre. Pero también durante los torneos empieza la gira ahora, por ejemplo, de polvo de ladrillo, Monte Carlo, Barcelona, Roma, Madrid, Roland Garros. Y uno como que el cuerpo no puede rendir al máximo las 6 semanas. Entonces como que no llega fino realmente a jugar Monte Carlo y sigue trabajando, incorporando fuerza para llegar a su tope de nivel a Roland Garros o a las últimas 2 semanas.
Entonces se están sacrificando.
A veces sí.
Okay, so it's very interesting what he's saying. Pablo,
dependiendo del jugador, sacrifica algunos torneos y otros no.
He's saying that basically, to answer Steve's question, is in December, they have almost 3 weeks break before the season start again in Australia, and that's the moment that players and him choose to work on conditioning and strength. And what he was saying as well is now, for example, the clay season is starting. You have Monte Carlo coming, Roma, Madrid, many tournaments. It's almost 6 weeks on tour. And what usually pro players do is they pick basically the tournament they want to focus on and more or less sacrifice another one to get ready also and improve physically and conditioning and the conditioning for bigger tournaments. So, for example,
no va a haber a nadie en Monte Carlo completamente fino, seguramente a Yoko o a los que no son jugadores que al primer día de polvo de ladrillo juegan bien, seguramente incómodos. Y esa incomodidad es por ser el primer torneo, lógicamente, pero porque le están dando mucho trabajo para llegar bien un poco más adelante.
He's saying that you're not going to see a high level in Monte Carlo the first days of the tournament, because most of the players are getting adjusted to the clay and to the new atmosphere, going from hard court to clay.
Los que naturalmente no se mueven tan bien en polvo de ladrillo.
Like he's talking about, it's hard for people that are used to train on hard courts than to train on clay courts, such as South American or Spanish, to adapt on clay. Because they have such a short time between the hard and clay to get used to. So I don't know if it makes sense. Does it make sense?
It makes total sense. And first of all, we're getting 77 people now, which is great. And I want to just take a little time out here. I want to thank Pablo.
Yes.
I want to thank Guy I am personally really enjoying this. I think that this is great. And Guy, you are doing an amazing job interpreting. Now, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So, but we have gotten a little bit of advice, and maybe we'll see. He said, a friend of mine who's a translator says it works best if you go 3 sentences and then interpret, and then 3 sentences and interpret. But, you know, we're doing this on the fly, and I think Guy is actually doing a pretty amazing job. And I just want to say I feel lucky to be on this call. And hopefully you guys do as well. Now, one question I have, watching tennis, and especially the people who've stayed around a long time, the most obvious players, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, you could make an argument that they got better from age 25 to 35, that they had more skills, you know, that Pablo, do you feel like you are a better tennis player at 25 or 35?
Mi caso,
Sí, sí, fuiste mejor jugador a 25, 35 años.
sufrí una lesión cuando tenía 24 años, en la cual me hizo como madurar mucho, y también por toda ese equipo ayudó a extender un poco mi carrera.
He said that when he was 24 years old, he suffered a big injury, and he helped him to improve mentally for the rest of his career.
Sí. Y entonces, por esa razón también, pude como aprovechar mucho mejor el tiempo de más mayor a partir de mis 27 años en adelante, y fue cuando tuve los mejores años de mi carrera, sin duda, digamos, y el unir un poco esa experiencia también con un buen estado físico.
For this reason, when he started to be 27 and when he got healthy, it really helped him mentally, and it was really physically as well when he was 27. So he's saying that basically from 27 to later, it was his best years of the career. I'm going to ask him actually what age he think he was actually, you know, between 27 and 35 years old. It's a lot of time, I would say. So I'm going to ask Pablo which time was maybe the best.
Peak.
Quizás tienes que decir 2 o 3 años que fueron los mejores.
Entre mis 29 y 30, 29 and between 32.
Okay.
It's yours, 29 and 29 and 32 years old, he would say.
29 and 32. Here's a question from Peter Astor. Will you consider playing doubles again? Are you still going to be playing some doubles on the tour? I know you're actually going to do some singles too. So tell us about what's kind of going on with your tennis now, what you're going to do.
Está preguntando qué tal con tu tenis ahora, si vas a volver a jugar un poco de single, doble.
El año pasado tuve otra lesión en mi pierna, que estuve casi 2 meses en muletas.
Last year he had a big injury and he was almost two months with crutches. He had a big injury on his knee.
Y ya estaba como llegando un poco a mi final, y eso me hizo como replantearme muchas cosas, y aproveché a tomarme como este verano más tranquilo.
And he was already mentally kind of prepared of ending up his career. ¿Qué has dicho después?
Que este verano como que me lo tomé un poco más tranquilo.
En este verano.
Sí.
And so this summer, which is, you know, winter in the US, he took it a little bit easier, but he's now recovered from his injury.
Yeah.
Yes. So is he going to do singles and doubles, or just singles? What's he think?
No, just singles. Not many tournaments. Play Roland Garros and one before for prepare, and then I seen play Wimbledon and not too much tournaments. That's it.
So he's gonna get ready. Actually, he's gonna play actually a couple of tournaments this summer. He's aiming to play Roland Garros and probably Wimbledon in singles.
And then he kind of wants to say goodbye to the tour. Is that kind of what I'm understanding?
¿Qué quieres decir más o menos?
No mucho más. Quiero decir que jugaré esos pocos torneos y seguramente no juegue mucho más, que estoy contento con lo hecho hasta acá.
he's saying that he's gonna try to play these tournaments, and he's thinking, yes, that he will probably be the end of his professional career, and he will be very, very happy and pleased with that. But you never know.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit, and I want to talk more about life after tennis. But since we kind of talked about doubles, and you won the French Open in doubles, and you won some other tournaments in doubles, what do you think it takes? What are the important elements of winning on a doubles court? What do you look for when you play doubles for a partner, for yourself? What's the winning formula for doubles for you?
¿Cuáles son los elementos que tienes que reunir para ganar el doble, por ejemplo?
En mi caso, creo que una de las tantas cosas que buscaba en el dobles era como una conexión con mi compañero. Y a veces esa conexión no empezaba en cómo nos íbamos a ayudar, digamos, en la parte tenística, sino en llevarnos bien. Y en base a eso, después íbamos adaptando algunas cosas.
So it's a pretty funny answer. It's a pretty funny answer. He's saying basically that the strategy in double for him was more or less finding a partner, not that is complementary of his tennis. You know what I mean? For example, Pablo's favorite shot is a backhand. You would think he would look for somebody playing a big forehand, but he was not looking for some guys that had extra or complementary skill than he has in tennis, if that makes sense. But he was looking for somebody that he was getting along with and being friend with and having a good time with.
Y desde ese lado buscábamos después empezar a cómo complementar, ¿no? A cómo ser mejores jugadores, no era solo divertirse.
And from that point, when he found the good guy that he was, getting friendly with and good energy, good synergy, they were starting to work on the tennis side and seeing and starting to see how they can complement each other on the tennis perspective.
En el caso de Roland Garros, una cosa muy curiosa que era nuestro primer torneo juntos con Orna.
Sí.
Y después que hasta cuarto de final, en mi caso jugué haciendo todo saque y red, y a partir de cuarto de final en adelante hice todo saque y fondo o muy pocas veces saque y red.
It's quite funny actually. He's saying that the year he won Roland Garros was 2008.
Yes.
He played for the first time with Orna doubles, and they won the French Open. And what he was saying, Pablo, is from the first round to the quarterfinals, he was doing serve and volley, and from quarterfinals to winning the tournament, he was just playing baseline.
Well, so that's a great question. Lots of times we interview Gigi Fernandez, who won 17 Grand Slam titles, and she was saying that, doubles is played at the net, it's won at the net. She does say a reason why people don't play so much at the net anymore is the violent spin you can now put on the ball because of just the technology and how big you guys hit the ball. What do you think the right formula for modern day doubles is to focus on being at the net versus being at the baseline?
So you basically asking Pablo if what he thinks about modern double tennis, about a strategy, if he should go to the net more often or stay to the baseline.
Yeah, like what's the winning formula now? Old school was get to the net. If you're not at the net, you're not even playing doubles in a lot of purists' mind. Now, obviously, it's much different. There's lots of people serving, staying back, hitting big balls. So what is the modern formula for success in doubles?
¿Ves? Más o menos. Que antes se jugaba saque y red y ahora no tanto.
Y ahora no tengo. Entonces se está preguntando cuál es la fórmula.
That's a tough question.
Es una pregunta difícil.
Creo que desde que yo veo tenis, creo que han pasado un poco tres cosas. Al principio como que casi que no solo por efectividad, simplemente porque casi que estaba mal visto no hacer saque y red en el dobles. ¿No?
¿Tú a nivel personal?
No, en general. O me está preguntando a mí puntualmente por qué hice una cosa y por qué otra.
No te pregunta a ti, te pregunta cómo hoy en día, cuál es la fórmula para ganar en doble.
Está bien, por eso. decirle esa primera parte que creo que
Bueno,
pasaron tres cosas. Que primero todo el mundo hacía saque red.
He's gonna say he thinks that the double is evaluated. Does it make sense?
Was
Double change in
Double
three
is
different
evolution.
phases. Evaluated the evolution
the evolution of doubles.
Evolution.
of different steps. So he's gonna give you the first step, the second, and the third from his point of view.
En el primero, todo el mundo, no importaba si era efectivo o no, todo el mundo hacía saque red.
So as you were saying, Peter, the first part of doubles in the past, no matter what, if it was effective or not, everybody was okay. I need to serve and rush to the net. Okay.
Sí. Después creo que en el momento donde nosotros con Orna ganamos Roland Garros, sobre todo en el polo de ladrillo, como que se entendió de que se podía jugar desde todos lados, inclusive se metieron muchos singlistas a jugar y como que demostraron que también era efectivo, si hacía las cosas bien, poder jugar de fondo.
¿Qué singlistas?
Jugadores de single y no jugadores específicamente de dobles.
Mm-hmm. And then he's saying that the second part for him, it was like around the year he won Roland Garros, many players and single players noticed that they could actually do good in doubles on clay playing baseline.
Sí, o el mix.
Or the mix of serve and volley or playing baseline. They're actually starting to see that, I don't have to be a specialist in doubles. I'm a single player, but maybe I can make it through on doubles, on clay, because I can find a way to play on the baseline. I don't have to come always to the net.
Y hoy las parejas realmente de dobles hacen, te diría que todos son buenos en la red y tratan de acortar los puntos o jugar en la red porque los saques son muy rápidos y si lográs dominar la red tenés una gran parte del juego ganada. Son muy pocos los que juegan de fondo y los que juegan de fondo son jugadores de singles que ocasionalmente juegan el doble.
Entonces estás diciendo que todo el mundo hoy en día es bueno en la volea y que todo el mundo volvió a la parte 1.
Sí.
Entonces estás diciendo
por
que todo
la
el mundo
velocidad un poco del juego. Los que juegan de fondo básicamente son jugadores de singles que de vez en cuando se anotan a jugar el dobles.
Ok. Pero entonces sorry, I'm just que ahora no tienes chance de ganar si juegas a fondo menos que sos número 1 del mundo.
Que no hay número 1 del mundo que jueguen de fondo. Todas las mejores parejas juegan en la red.
Okay. He's saying that now he thinks that everybody get back to the phase number 1, which is getting back to the net
con más velocidad,
with more spin, more power, bigger serves, better talent at the net, better hand, maybe. So he thinks that now the key is really serving big and going to the net.
It's getting back to the net. Very interesting.
In doubles,
yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for that. Now we have two people want to ask the same question. And we have a couple of good questions here. So I'm going to go to the audience a little bit here for these next 2 or 3. So I don't know if you can read that there, Guy, but it says, as you are learning the game and developing your skills, was it better to focus on improving one stroke at a time, like a forehand or a serve, or was it better to work a little bit on each item?
Is he asking when Pablo was learning tennis from his young age, or is he asking when Pablo was on the tour to correct some of his technical points?
Well, let's say as he was learning, because I think a lot of people who are on the, call, everybody's kind of developing their game. Most people who watch us are intermediate to intermediate advanced players. So they're probably looking to put pieces together.
Okay.
So developing your game.
Cuando estaba joven, empezando a jugar tenis, sabiendo tenis, si tú te estabas enfocando en
dobles,
en trabajar solo el drive o el revés o la volea o un poco de todo cada vez, cada training, ¿sabes?
Muy amplia un poco la pregunta, sí, pero creo que hubo momentos como para todo un poco.
Como un junior. Como cuando tenías 14, 15 años.
Ah, ok.
¿Qué estabas la semana? Tipo, ¿todo fue?
De junior hay como mucho más tiempo que en el circuito para trabajar. O sea, no hay tanta competencia. Entonces podés como dedicarle más tiempo a cada una de esas cosas. Pero hasta mis 13 años prácticamente mi revés era solo con slice. Así que uno de los puntos a trabajar bastante era un poquito el revés. Y después como gran jugador sudamericano, mucho juego de base, del fondo. En la red se trabajaba en ese momento un poco.
So basically what he's saying is until he was 13 years old, he was only slicing his backhand, and he started to work a lot on the topspin backhand, one-hand topspin backhand when he was 13, 14 years old. He also started as a junior to work a lot on serve and volleys because he was more used to play on the baseline.
Sí, no trabajé mucho el saque y el saque sí, no trabajé mucho la volea, más bien mi juego de fondo.
Después de los 14.
Sí, porque el mismo polvo de ladrillo te exige eso un poco.
So he said that he worked a lot after 14 years old, his baseline game. His baseline game, he was not doing much volleys. He was really working hard on his baseline game because don't forget that he grew up on clay, and clay players are playing on the baseline more often. Maybe I asked, is it answering the question or not?
Yeah, I think that's good. There's somebody who's asked this question twice, so I'm not going to ignore it. Playing mixed doubles with Sway as your partner. Can you talk a little bit about that? Such a different player. What was it like playing with her?
Está preguntando, tú jugaste mixed double con... ¿Cómo fue para jugar con ella? Porque es una jugadora que es diferente.
Sí. Jugamos en Australian Open.
They play together in the Australian Open.
Y el doble mixto es una cosa como muy particular, digamos. Son solo los 4 Grand Slam donde se juega el doble mixto.
The mixed double is a very a special discipline because you only play mixed double in Grand Slams.
Yes, okay. The first Grand Slam.
The 4 Grand Slams.
Y tenía como una buena relación con el entrenador de esa jugadora, de Sway.
He had a good relation with a coach at that time.
Sí. Y bueno, quedamos para jugar y terminamos ganando buenos partidos y llegando a las semifinales del torneo de Australia y perdiendo un partido muy ajustado contra Páez y Higgins, que venían de ganar muchos Grand Slams.
And they ended up playing together because they were getting very along. He was getting along with the coach, so they started to play with this woman the tournament, and they started winning, and they ended up losing actually in the semifinals against Páez and Higgins.
No, y en el dobles mixto creo que no hay una táctica tan definida al ser las parejas como armadas muy en el momento, a no ser algunas 2 o 3 muy específicas. Es como que hay un mix de todo, de hacer saque y fondo, saque y red. Las mujeres no hacen saque y red.
Sí. Y que no trabajas, estás diciendo, con la mujer antes.
Sí, antes de salir a la cancha.
He's saying basically the mixed double, most of the people participating on the mixed double don't really get ready or prepared together to play doubles together. It's really coming up on last minute. They find a partner, they partner up, and they play the tournament. It just goes how it goes, you know.
Las prioridades en un torneo de Grand Slam, en mi caso y en el del 99%, es el que juega single es el single, el que juega el doble es el doble, pero el doble mixto es como una cosa más. Sí.
Yeah, he's saying that playing, as he was saying, that mixed double tournaments are only during Grand Slam, and Pablo was saying that it's really something not even secondary. It's the third option. You know, people like Pablo goes on the Grand Slam to win as many matches as he can in single, and then the double specialists they want to win as many men's or women's doubles matches as possible. So really, the mixed double comes at the third option, and nobody really gets into, if I understood correctly,
pero la
preparation for that.
La primera pregunta que se hace uno es, ¿se le tira con toda la potencia a la mujer? Y a lo primero que te responden es sí, obviamente que sí, se juega de igual a igual, la idea es ganar, digamos, y las primeras veces que uno juega es como que no lo tiene bien claro eso.
Pero tú cuando juegas contra otra mujer lo pegas lo más fuerte que puedes, no te importa.
Sí.
I was saying also very interesting that when you're playing a mixed double, you know, you cannot ask yourself, can I hit the ball hard to the girl, and is she gonna respond as good as a man? And he says yes, and he said that in double he was just playing as hard as he could against the guy or the woman. So watch out.
Very interesting. Okay. let's see where I don't know what this says since I can't read Spanish. So I'm going to put this up. Guy, you read that. And what is that a question? Is that a comment? What does that say?
He's saying, "What are you doing, Pablo? I'm still keeping a tennis ball that you throw in the
Stands.
stand, in Punta del Este, actually where we're going." And he says, "All hugs from Argentina."
Oh, hugs from Argentina. Okay, hugs from
So
Argentina.
he was just saying hello to Pablo, and he keeps a good memory from Pablo throwing a ball in Uruguay, and the guy caught the ball and was just happy.
Okay, so let me. I don't want to do solo shot. Sorry, exit solo shot. Okay, so now here's a question I think for everybody. First of all, Pablo, thanks for spending such a great amount of time with us. I'm about to walk us through this South American tennis experience, and you two will talk about it. But my first question for you guys is, what style of Spanish do we need to study as a language? What is the, there's different types of Spanish people speak. So what should we learn to speak to be able to go over to South America? What should we be studying? What brand of Spanish do we study so we can at least get by with some basics?
Está preguntando, pero es difícil en español. Te voy a ayudar. Está preguntando tipo qué tipo de español tienen que aprender para ir a Argentina, o Uruguay, porque saben que el español es diferente, diferentes. ¿Con cuál deberían entrar?
Y tal vez el español más neutro, si bien habrá palabras diferentes, es el mexicano, el que tienen por ahí más cerca, ¿no? Aunque algunas palabras puedan ser más difíciles, pero no el español real de España.
He said maybe don't start with the real, the Spanish from Spain, but maybe start with the Spanish from Mexico.
The Spanish from Mexico. Okay, all right, very cool.
Start with
from South America, but not from Spain. It's very more difficult.
He said it's harder to start with the Spanish from Spain to learn Spanish and get to the South American Spanish, if that makes sense. He will say that you should talk to people from Mexico and learn the way the Mexican people learn Spanish to actually improve and speak better Spanish in South America.
Great. Yeah. That's an insider tip. Okay.
Good question.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a solo layout. I'm going to scroll down this amazing South American tennis experience. And then I will hand it off to you guys, especially Guy, since he puts the packages together, to kind of explain what we're going to experience with all these amazing experiences. Because next year, guys, if you want to learn how to speak better Spanish with Pablo, if you want to learn how to hit a better backhand, you want to play with him on clay, you want to go all around South America, this is going to be the trip for you. So I'm going to put myself on the solo layout here. And this right here, guys, this is why we're on tonight's call. Because next year, if you want, in 2024, February 15th to the 22nd, you can join us. And so right here, this is where we're going. We're going to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Uruguay. And there's a great video. You can go to bonjourtennisfantasies.com, and this video right here is amazing. I'm not going to play it though. Go there. We're going to be staying at 5-star hotels. So Guy, when you say a 5-star hotel, tell us. Let's start there. What 5-star hotel are we going to be staying at?
So maybe Peter, you want to send the website on the chat so people can see actually the website. Maybe I don't know if you can do that.
Yes, I can. I've done it once, but I'll do it again. So yeah, guys, look in the chat so you can follow along. I just put the link in there.
So yeah, we are going to South America, actually Argentina, Buenos Aires, between the 15th to the 19th of February, and then we'll be going from the 19th to the 22nd of February 2024 to Punta del Este, Uruguay. What can I say? We're gonna stay 4 nights in a beautiful 5-star hotel in Punta del Este. Actually, I'm going next week to Argentina, Buenos Aires, to select one of the hotel. I'm thinking of 2 different hotels, so I cannot share yet the information for sure. what I can say is going to be a beautiful 5-star hotel in a very secure area of Buenos Aires, next to the tournament site. We're going to go 2 days to the tournament, watch the semis and the finals of the ATP Men's 250 tournaments. We're going to have a masterclass clinic during 3 hours with Pablo in Buenos Aires. We're going to have also one of his friends joining us. His name is José Luis Clerc, who was ex number 4 in the world, a good friend of Guillermo Vilas. It's not the same time they play tennis, but they are going to be together and host a very nice tennis event in one of the top clubs in Buenos Aires. We're going to go to a tango show. You're going to learn how to improve your tango skills as well. We're going to have some cooking classes for the one not playing tennis, because we also
Hey, Guy, I got to interrupt you. Neither you or Pablo is allowed to dance with Ivan, the tango. That's out. All right, go ahead.
And yeah, I mean, we are going to have a private tour of the city, a lot of tennis in the morning. And as Pablo was saying at the beginning, is you really have to try asados and all the food from Argentina and Uruguay, which is a lot of barbecues and beauty and very tasty steaks. So we're going to go to very nice restaurants in Buenos Aires, the best ones. And what else can I say? Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of free time, not so much. It's going to be super active. Then we're going to fly all together from Buenos Aires to Punta del Este. Punta del Este is a very, very famous beach resort in South America. Many Brazilians, Argentinians, and everybody from South America travel to Punta del Este because it's an amazing place front of the beach. It's now less than an hour flight from Argentina. And we're going to be there one day as well with Pablo, playing in a beautiful club there. Going to the beach, we're going to have a wine tour, horse riding activities for non-tennis players.
Nada parecido a un all-inclusive, ¿no? Mucho más variado.
Sí. No, yeah, as Pablo is saying, it's not an all-inclusive trip. We have many things included, but you're going to really experience the countries, which is very important for us and the trips we're doing with Steve and Peter. We really want you to immerse yourself as an Argentinian or as a Uruguayan guy. And that's why we also have Pablo and José Luis Clerc that we will have live on YouTube the next few weeks to just give us and tell us about the country when you're there, talk to him and just, find out more about the culture of the country.
Very cool. So a couple things here. I'm going to speak on it, then I'm going to ask Steve to speak on it. I also put in the link, guys, just the Bonjour Tennis Fantasies, because we're going to be going to Spain in a couple weeks. That's already sold out. We're going to Madrid Open. We're going to be going to France in July. And I could just tell you, I went to France last year, Paris. We played on the Roland Garros courts. We were on our own private boat on Bastille Day watching fireworks explode out of the Eiffel Tower. Every single meal we had was a 5-star meal. Everywhere we stayed was 5-star. We went out to wine country. And the whole time I'm thinking, this guy can organize a damn trip like I've never seen in my life. So, I mean, it was the best vacation I've ever had. And so, Steve, talk about just the level of, you've been doing stuff like this for the longest time. You own a club. You've done the tennis fantasies out in New Braunfels, Texas. Just speak on these trips and how unique they are and how you came to partner with Guy.
Well, obviously, Guy is a tremendous organizer, and he's done a fabulous job connecting us with Pablo. And Pablo, I want to thank you, and certainly this really put something special to the trip to South America. But talking about how this all comes together, look, our tennis community is a pretty special community. People, first of all, love their tennis. They like to travel and they like to be around people. So Guy has put together some fabulous trips that people probably won't or can't do on their own. For instance, Roland Garros, we were the first French people to be able to play at Roland Garros. That's pretty unique. You can't just, contact a travel agent and do that. So I think, what we're doing, like I said, the passion of tennis, the allure of traveling and adventure, and the fact that tennis people like to get along with other tennis people, and that's something that we've seen in all the events that we're doing from the 36 years of Tennis Fantasies. People come back not only for the adventure, but for the people that they've traveled with or they've been with. So it's a really nice combination. We've partnered with you, Peter, with Guy, with Pablo now. Mark Woodford, of course, was with us in France last year. Johan Creek is going to be with us this year. It's just people that love people and love tennis and love adventures, and it makes for a really, really good trip.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, guys, whether you can make the South America trip or France, or maybe you can come to Spain with us next year, and plus we have other stuff in the works, do yourself a favor. If you love tennis, at least look at the Bonjour Tennis Fantasy site that I put in the link, because just look at it so you can see how organized every trip is and put it on your bucket list. I talked to a guy today from New Jersey, and he said he just retired, and he was all excited about the trip when I was telling him about it, because like many of you on the call, he's totally obsessed with tennis. And he's like, I'm at the age now to where I'm just retired, but I can still play. I still feel good. And it's time for me to do bucket list stuff. That's what he said. And I thought, wow, that's a great way to put it, because if you love tennis and you want to do trips, I don't think you're going to find a better combination of doing these type of trips, because you're on the court a good amount. And also, even after some of our clinics, I noticed last year when we were playing on the clay courts, a lot of the real tennis people, after we just played 2 or 3 hours, some of those boys stayed around and said, hey, let's play another set or two. So, I mean, you're going to be around people who love tennis, can't get enough tennis. So you'll be able to play tennis, you'll be able to talk tennis, and plus you'll be able to see parts of the world in the tennis part of the world and around the world that you're just not going to be able to see. Like when we went to Paris, we got a personal tour of Roland Garros and got to have lunch overlooking the center court of Roland Garros. We're going to get to go to this tournament, and we're going to be able to get perspectives from Jose Luis Clerc and Pablo. They're going to be able to tell us things about what it's like to be at the tournament that there's no way in the world we could even comprehend. So, I mean, these are the types of things that if you can do it, if it's not going to break the bank, I feel very confident saying you're going to have the time of your life, because that's what I had. I had the time of my life. Steve, you remember Bastille Day, the fireworks go off, and we're on the boat ride on the way back, and you and I looked at it, and goes, well, that's it. Trip's over. Like, we're not going to outdo this. And then, boom, it was like the next day, it's like fasten your seatbelts. We're in Lyon, and I was having just as good a time with the stuff we had after that. So, you guys, I'll just leave it open to anybody who wants to speak.
Well, like I said, and the culture, and tonight, Pablo, again, I'll thank you. You've gotten, I've been excited about the trip to South America ever since we announced it, but spending the last hour with Pablo gets me even more excited, because this is why we're going to get that kind of feel from the native Uruguayans and Argentines, and that adds to the whole thing. That's a piece that you can't get in a tennis clinic back at Harper's Point or any place in the United States. We're going to have not only somebody from that country, but a world-class player from that country who obviously loves tennis and loves people as much as we do. So again, you can't get that off the shelf.
Absolutely. Tom David says these trips are must-dos. We're all going to Spain, back to Paris, and South America next year. Can't wait. We can't wait either, Tom. So that's what it's all about, sharing these experiences that, let's face it. I mean, I can only talk so long about tennis to Yvonne to where she starts to go, okay, I'm bored. So, I mean, but if you want to talk all the tennis, you can do it on these trips. Guy and Pablo, I'm going to leave you guys the last words. I'm going to let you guys go. What do you have to say?
Las últimas palabras.
Los esperamos el año que viene por aquí. Prepárense porque en febrero hace mucho calor, tanto en Buenos Aires como en Uruguay. Y seguro que, como estuvieron diciendo ustedes, van a tener una linda experiencia y se van a volver contentos y con ganas de repetirlo.
He's saying that get ready because it's going to be warm in February 2024. It's summer in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and summer in Punta del Este, Uruguay. He said that he's waiting for you here. You're going to have such a great time. He's excited to show you around, to show you Buenos Aires, to show you Punta del Este, and he's pretty sure that you're going to have a blast. It's a trip of a lifetime, and you're going to want to come back.
Nice.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's
That was
pretty good.
excellent, Pablo. Pablo, we enjoyed you so much. You have such a great spirit, and it was an honor to be on this call
Yes,
with you.
it was.
It's so neat to be, on a call with somebody you've been watching for years. Like I told Pablo before the call, I watched him kick Andy Roddick's butt when Andy was in his prime in Miami. He's beaten Rafa Nadal. He's beaten Dominic Thiem. He's played all the best. He's beaten Tsonga. I mean, this guy has had a world-class, amazing career. I've always said that to be able to stay in the top 100, we always think about Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, but if you can stay in the top 100 in the world for 10 plus years, you are a freak. That's not normal. And people don't appreciate that. What an accomplishment that is. And so, guys, we're very lucky to be on this call tonight, and I just want to thank you guys for your time. We'll let you guys go. Everybody look at the site, and that's it, because we've had these guys for over an hour now, which is really, really special.
Very good.
I'll be sending everybody a follow-up email. If you're on tonight's call and you're on my email list, we'll be sending out the replay. We'll be sending out links. And have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Pablo, thank you. Peter, great job, buddy.
Thank you, Peter.
Hey, good job.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.